Welcome to the premiere episode of the history of tea here at the ZODAC Tea Room. I'm your host, Brandon, and while our other series, Rooted and Refined, focuses on how tea benefits our well-being, this series is all about the who, when, and where. We're about to travel back thousands of years to see how a single leaf didn't just fill a cup, it built empires, started wars, and mapped the world. Before we dive into the deep mist of the mountains, you should know that the story of tea is the story of power. From the Han Dynasty in China to the Goryeo Kingdom in Korea, the Kamakura Shogunate in Japan, and eventually the massive British Empire, tea has been the silent partner in every major global shift. But today, we go back to the very beginning, the first empire to turn a wild shrub into a global obsession. The humble beginnings, the legend of Shennong. Every great history has a hero, and ours is Shennong, the legendary emperor and divine farmer of ancient China, around 2737 BC. The story goes that he was a bit of a scientist, always boiling his water for hygiene. One afternoon, while sitting under a Camellia sinensis tree, a few stray leaves drifted down into his boiling pot. Instead of throwing it out, he noticed the water turning a rich gold and smelled a refreshing aroma. He took a sip, felt a surge of energy and clarity, and the great tea awakening began. The Han Dynasty, tea becomes imperial. While it started as a myth, tea became a reality for the Han Dynasty, 206 BC to 220 AD. This was the first true empire to take tea seriously. During this time, tea wasn't the refined drink we know today. It was actually used as a medicine and a vegetable. They would boil the leaves into a thick, salty soup with ginger, orange peel, and onions. But as the Han Empire expanded, they realized that tea was more than a snack. It was a luxury. It became a symbol of status among the elite and the scholarly, helping to fuel the long hours of meditation and governance required to run an empire. The birth of the tea horse rode. As the Han Dynasty stabilized, they needed something very specific to keep their borders safe. Strong, fast horses from Tibet. But the Tibetans didn't want gold. They wanted tea for its survival benefits in the high altitudes. This created the tea horse road, a treacherous, winding mountain path where traders would carry hundreds of pounds of tea on their backs to swap for war horses. This was the precursor to the massive trade networks that would eventually link the East to the West. Steeped in history. Here is a fact that shows just how hardcore the ancient tea trade was. To make the tea easier to transport over thousands of miles on the tea horse road, the Chinese pressed the leaves into hard, heavy bricks. These bricks were so standardized and valuable that they were actually used as a form of edible money. If you were a traveler in ancient China and ran out of coins, you could literally break off a piece of your tea brick to pay for your room or a meal. Talk about a liquid asset. Empires built on tea. The Han Dynasty laid the foundation, but they were just the start. By standardizing the growth of tea and turning it into a tradable commodity, they created a blueprint that future dynasties, like the Tang and the Song, would use to dominate the world's economy. Tea became the green gold that funded the building of cities, the support of massive armies, and the development of the arts. Finding your flavor, the historical way. If you want to drink like a citizen of the Han Dynasty, you wouldn't reach for a tea bag. You'd look for pressed tea or dark tea, like pu'er. It's earthy, deep, and reminds us of the days when tea had to survive a 6-month journey across a mountain range just to reach a teapot. The Han Dynasty started the fire, but it was the Tang Dynasty that turned it into a global blaze. But as tea became more valuable, it became more dangerous. A simple leaf was about to become the center of a massive web of secrets, involving the world's most beautiful fabric and a currency that wasn't made of paper or gold. In our next episode of our other series, Rooted and Refined, we're putting the history books away and getting back to the science. We're going to talk about the one hidden ingredient in your kitchen that is currently ruining your tea's health benefits, and how a simple 2-minute fix can make your brew taste like it came from a professional tea house. Thanks for traveling back in time with me at the ZODAC Tea Room. History is a lot like tea. It's best when you let it steep. If you're ready to see how the Silk Road changed everything, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next chapter. Until next time, stay curious and keep sipping.